Let me try again. Go ahead, Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, hi. I've got two questions. What do you think about requiring books from the American Revolution in all high schools, like the autobiography of Benjamin Franklin or the works of Thomas Paine, like The Rights of Man, so the people will know what it means to be an American? And number two, could you explain the treasonous Marxist alcoholic dictators that pull the strings in our country, like the Rockefeller-controlled Trilateral Commission and Council of Foreign Relations?
Okay, first I wouldn't require people to read certain books. I mean, it would be nice if I, as a national leader, dictator in this country, would say, I will tell the students of this country what to read. We should work much more diligently for competition education, private education, where those who are unhappy with their schools can pick up and go down the street and find another school. And if they don't have the kind of books that you want, then find one that does. That would solve that problem. Now, you refer to who really pulls the strings, and for years now, it's been claimed by many, and there's pretty good evidence that those who are involved in the Trilateral Commission and the Council of Foreign Relations usually ends up in positions of power. And I believe this is true. This is, if you look at the Federal Reserve, if you look at key positions at the World Bank or the IMF, they all come from these groups. If you have national television on, you might see a big debate about the Far East crisis, and you have Brzezinski and Kissinger talking about how to do it. One says, don't invade today, invade tomorrow, and the other says don't invade immediately. And that's the only difference you find among the Rockefeller trilateralists. But I think this is an important point here, because I think money is involved here, power is involved, and oil is involved. The American people are loving this invasion, but they have to realize that we're fighting for the oil companies who are partners with the Arabs, who are dictators, who would boycott us in a minute if they get the chance. So it's power and oil, and those individuals who help formulate policy in these two groups certainly have a lot to say about our government.
In case you've just joined us, we're visiting with Ron Paul, who was the Libertarian candidate for president in 1988, also a former member of Congress from Texas. You were initially in the Republican Party?
Yes, and when I was in Congress, I was Republican.
When did you become a Libertarian?
Well, I probably was always a Libertarian, and there's a lot of Libertarians in the country who may still belong to another party. Of course, we're trying to get them over to our party, but there are a lot of frustrating things that keep that from happening. But I joined the party in 1987, the Libertarian Party, but the acceptance of the belief that government should be limited to protecting our liberty and accepting the notion that no individual has the right to initiate force. See, I'm very attracted to this nonviolent, non-initiation of force principle that we all accept. And I've accepted that principle a long time. So it's defense that you're permitted to do. We're not pacifists in the sense that we wouldn't defend ourselves, either as individuals or as a country. We should defend ourselves. But I guess as long as I can remember, I endorse those views.
Tucson, Arizona, you're next with your